Hi, and welcome to the HIve stream number 39. Oh, one more we hit 40. Um, Today's topic is autism and gaming, a discussion on research and bringing awareness to autism. The Hive today is as always, is brought to you by Esports College and Career Pathways, where our mission is to provide a safe and supportive environment for gamers to pursue their goals. We focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Huge thank you to our sponsors, Corsair, The Game Hers, ESTV, and NFL alumni. I am Alley Cat, and I am your host for today. I'm excited to have Monica Miller. She's going to be my co-host, and that's who I'll be talking to throughout the stream. Monica is from Ritual Motion, and we're going to talk to her more about the article she wrote, the research in autism, and Ritual Motion. So without further ado, let's welcome Monica. Hi, Monica.
Hey, everyone. Thanks so much, Alley Cat. I'm happy to be here and talking about my research and esports and gaming and autism. All going to be a good chat today.
Yeah, well, I didn't read your intro yet. So.
Oh.
No, it's fine. It's me. So, yeah, I'm here to tell you more about Monica first and about the company Ritual Motion. I want to make sure I said that. Also, if I mess up anything, I'm half asleep on this side. Okay. Monica Miller, she is an independent consultant, freelance writer, and researcher who specializes in gaming and esports. In her work, she calls upon her unique in-game and real-life experiences to share information about the many intersections in the gaming, esports, health and wellness, and education industries. She's led the construction of 2 collegiate esports programs from the grassroots level and assisted with several startups in the industry. The company Ritual Motion is the leading wellness media brand serving an audience of millions in the gaming and esports community. The products and services, wow, my Jamaican accent really jumped out there. They offer are aligned with strategic mission, creating products and content for the good of gamers. See, I like that. So yeah, I'm so happy to have you. I wanted to make sure to read like your bio because it's really interesting. So yeah. So can you tell us like a little bit about like how you first started in gaming?
Yeah, absolutely. So my earliest memory of gaming actually was gaming on my home computer with floppy disks. So my mom literally had like this little compartment where we would put floppy disks, and I remember playing this Tarzan platformer and also this game called Elf Bowling. It was like Christmas themed, really weird. But I started on playing on PC, then I gravitated toward playing on PlayStation 1, like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, those older games. And then I went back to PC gaming and fell in love with World of Warcraft. And I've been gaming ever since really I can remember logging onto a computer. So definitely like maybe 7, 8, 6 years old, something like that. And every time I would play WoW, I would sit there and think, how cool would it be to work in this field someday? Is that like possible for me? And thinking about all those sorts of things. So, as I went through college and career searching and all that, I landed here. So it kind of has been a pretty straightforward life trajectory of playing and now working.
Yeah, I feel like okay. Finally, somebody mentioned the floppy disk. That's first.
Okay, I was afraid because I was like, I don't know if she knows. Does anybody know?
I remember,
feel old.
but my aunt always had Doom, and like, there was another game I can't even remember. It might have been GoldenEye, but they had it on PC specifically, and I remember like the floppy disk, and I was like, maybe it was like a Mandela effect. Maybe I didn't know, but yeah, that's really cool. So what was like you just told us your first video game. So do you remember playing games in like high school and going through school, playing video games?
Yeah, so probably the 2 biggest titles I would play on were World of Warcraft and League of Legends in high school, but it was primarily like by myself and with internet friends. Yeah. Not many people in school at this time knew about games, were gaming, or were vocal about it. It was kind of not the cool thing to do when I was in high school. So we didn't have any recognized clubs for gaming. I didn't have a lot of in real life friends, I guess would be the word to use, who played. So um, it was definitely like a little challenging to kind of find my tribe and find my community in high school. It wasn't really until college that I found people to play with IRL. I would leave my dorm room open and I would always bring my PC to campus. So anybody who walked by, I would like see the setup and be like, okay, hey, what's this about? So I had some people trickle in and I'd be like, oh, I play League of Legends. Or be like, bro, I play League of Legends too. And then we'd like band up and play together. So it provided a little bit more of a social opportunity to connect with those people. So it wasn't until college that I was really able to find people like IRL who were like-minded in enjoying video games.
Right. Oh wow, that's so cool. Like you mentioned college. So now I'm gonna get in because your bio mentioned that you constructed 2 collegiate esports programs from I feel like it's a grassroots level.
Yeah, so
But
from the ground up.
can you tell me more about that? And what were the 2 programs?
Yeah, absolutely. So my first job out of college was as an admission counselor for an institution called St. Joseph's University. I had worked here for a little while, but since I didn't attend the school, I didn't know much about the community. I wasn't really aware of what was available to get involved with. And I wanted to connect more to the community. So I reached out and was like, I wonder if like they have a gaming club or something along those lines. I think that would be my niche. So I reached out, found that the students did organize and had like a League of Legends and esports club, but it was really underutilized. They didn't really have any money to even get like pizza to hang out. So I was like, I wonder if I can like do anything here. I work here. Maybe I can say something to somebody. One thing led to another, and the information about me having knowledge about gaming and esports got to the higher level of the institution. And apparently the missing piece of recognizing the gaming community on campus was they just didn't have any knowledgeable staff who knew about esports and gaming. So I kind of was like a right place, right time scenario. So they pulled me in and we had lots of meetings about bringing esports to campus in a bigger way. And long story short, they eventually organized a team, and I was at the helm of the team with another person, and we built the program out, we built the space, and we were going to reveal the space in March of 2020, but then the world shut down.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, so I never got to do the project to completion, but they did get to spin it back up in the fall, and they have their binds on it now, and they're doing really, really, really phenomenally. So I'm happy they were able to get it off the ground. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah. The other school I work with is the Pennsylvania College of Art and Design, and I got them around the same time when I was doing the work with St. Joe's. I had quit my full-time job because I was like, I could do this esports thing and help colleges grow programs and help students find their space, and got PCAT as a client. And I've been working with them now for a little over a year. I'm entering another term with them this fall to help find a coach for the program. But we built the space. The students have been able to play in the space, and we now have a League of Legends and Overwatch competitive team on campus. So it's been really fun.
Yeah, that sounds awesome because it was just like I don't know. I was like I thought it was something like far away. So when you said 2020, I was like, "Oh no, like that's so recent." Like wow. But I'm glad they're going to, finally get to use the space and things.
Yeah. Yeah, the students have been loving the space from what I hear. I'm still in their Discord channel, so I creep on there a little bit and make sure, everybody's having a good time. But yeah, they were able to get it going, and there's partnerships, and now they're a part of a conference and they're playing competitively, and apparently they have a really good Smash team now. So I'm like, I'm so
Oh,
glad that they got
wow.
ahead.
Yeah, that's so awesome. Like, oh, wow. And I just want to make an honorable mention to your shirt because I was actually talking about Avatar a lot because I don't know if you saw like the TTRPG that they're kickstarting.
Of course.
Oh, of course. So yeah, shout out to the Legend of Korra. It's a really cool
Yeah,
shirt, by the
big
way.
Avatar fan. Binged it a lot over the last year.
I was gonna
Both
ask you, I was like, did you see the Kickstarter? And I
I did.
forgot.
I did. I did. It was awesome. It's tabletop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
going to be interesting.
oh man, even like I'm not even into Dungeons and Dragons or like a tabletop like that. So I was like, I would try it with this Avatar because the whole world that they built around it is really cool. But yeah, that's really interesting. Um, So let's get into like you working with ritual motion. Like how did that come about?
Yeah. So Ritual Motion and we entered an agreement back in the August of last year, and I was just writing articles for them. I had produced a series called More Than Meets the Eye, which is a series where I pretty much just show there's more than meets the eye from anybody, any walk of life, and I just kind of shared my story through that platform and talked about all kinds of different topics like being a female in gaming, being a female streamer, talked about healthy mental and emotional health like opportunities so you can kind of stay sane, especially during the pandemic. I was writing out about how you can like journal and be mindful and all those sorts of things. So just an opportunity to use my story to help motivate other people to take care of themselves and be the best that they can. And they really liked that. The community really resonated with the content, so they kept pulling me in for projects. And right now, I'm working in an awesome project called RM Guild, which is stands for Gamers United in Live Discussion, where we host tons of awesome thought leaders and folks in the industry, including Catherine Amukta. We just did an interview not too long ago.
I
She's
know that name.
yeah, she's great. She invited me to the platform, so thank you, Catherine. But we bring all kinds of people on from esports gaming to share their experiences. We have some really cool ones coming up. One about combating veteran suicide through gaming. We've had LGBTQ presence on the platform as well, talking about what it's like being a streamer in that capacity and being involved in the community. So lots of these like hard to talk about conversations that there really isn't a space for right now in the gaming community. So we're trying to unite everybody together to have these conversations, and we do it on a live video platform. So I've been directing the show there with the team of people at Ritual Motion, and it's been really fulfilling. It's been challenging to pull together something so big, but I think we're making some headway and great things are coming.
Oh wow. Well, I kind of jumped ahead with the questions because I want to talk about your research as
Yeah.
well. And yeah, like how did that come about, and like when did you decide to research and write about like autism?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was brainstorming my quota for the month of April, and I realized that it was Autism Awareness Month. And I remember having discussions with St. Joseph's University personnel back when I was working with them about an effort to help their enrolled students on the spectrum. They have like a special program called the Kinney Center for the students on the spectrum in their university. So I looked back on those conversations and I was like, maybe there's like some benefits that I can talk about. So I started doing a little bit more digging online. So I will say, like, I'm no expert. I just did a little bit of online research because I wanted to know, like, what is being said about autism in gaming? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it both of those things? So when I started researching, I found that there's arguments definitely on both sides of the spectrum there. So it's good, it's bad, and it was pretty split among the scholarly research for games being good or bad for ASD. So it was inspiring to see the many ways that games can help empower those with autism. So that's the angle that I decided to take on the article. And at the very end, I recognize there is the other side of the coin, but I definitely wanted to highlight the benefits there. So from the research, I chose 3 different areas. So flexible thinking, learning social skills, and learning how to embrace change were the 3 benefits that I chose from there. I really believe that there is a way to go about using video games to help those on the spectrum develop good behaviors. It's just a matter of finding it. And some of the research suggests that it's the genre of the games that matter the most rather than the time spent gaming, which was interesting to me.
Yeah, that's really cool. What genre was like one of the better genres for autism? Do you remember?
I mostly remember one of the worst because it hit
Oh,
home. Role playing games apparently are one of the worst according to the research that I was looking at.
that's
Um,
true.
but one of the best are probably the ones with the repetitive motions, so that
Mhm.
predictable kinds of things.
Or something more structured. Or I mean, I don't. You
Absolutely,
never know because it's the spectrum, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, so but that's really interesting and really cool that you chose to research about it. Like, are there any more like things that you're going to be doing with that topic like coming up or
Yeah, so I like to do a lot of research on how video games and education can combine, and I think that bringing in autism awareness in this is really important. I definitely will be contributing research in the future for this. I'm just not sure what it's going to look like because, the question that needs to be answered is how can we develop a curriculum? How can we develop teachings using video games to help these people? And like that's like the question mark. That's the gap. Like how can we universally do this? And with so many game genres out there, it's kind of impossible to universally do it because there's a different genre for different people. And I'm sure someone on the spectrum who is faced with an RPG won't have bad behaviors as a result. It's just maybe the one group that they study that might have. So
Yeah.
I would really like to research the different areas, the different genres, and how they can help in this area. It's just it's so nuanced. It's so complicated to wrap the head around. But I think that's the question I'd really like to answer is what kind of curriculum can we establish using video games to help in the area?
Yeah. I mean, did you all like research with like online and offline and things like that as well?
I did a little bit there, more so in favor of the online because it offers an opportunity for someone to have more social interaction, which is
Mhm.
one of the big draw-ins for gaming for me. Not having many people IRL to connect with gaming. A lot of my friends resided on the internet, so this gives people on the spectrum an opportunity to socialize and learn social behaviors, albeit maybe not nonverbal, but verbal and written.
Yeah. So yeah, like what was the overall experience like doing that research? And like you said, you're gonna be like looking into doing more, but like what was the overall experience just like getting deeper into the topic? Like you said, it sounds so complicated. Like kudos to you for taking it on.
Yeah, so I definitely kind of wanted to summarize the benefits that I was seeing. So the experience that I was going for, I got a lot of the information from Toca Boca, which is a company that develops child-friendly apps, and also AANE, which is the Asperger Autism Network. So I found a few scholarly articles that they wrote and pulled a little bit of the information from there and tagged it into the article that I wrote. But yeah, mostly what I found was the benefits were the social interactions, helping with flexible thinking, and helping practice transition skills and expanding the range of activities. But the counter arguments were definitely it was tough to face because they are great counter arguments. Like one of the bigger ones was those with autism might be more prone to like video game addiction. And we actually just hosted a session on RM Guild about identifying and overcoming gaming addiction with Cam Adair. So I think that it's a really good resource for those who are concerned about that side of the coin. There are resources available. So I think that to counter the counter argument that with the right support and resources, I really think it's possible to use the games for good in any way.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, like, what was like the age range? Do you feel like someone would be able to like introduce video games, like even like to a child or a teenager? Was there like an age range you all looked at or no?
No, I wasn't looking at an age range in general, just kind of
Yeah.
across the
Yeah.
board ASD, not like looking at students in particular, just those on the spectrum. So kind of like a
Yeah.
really wide angle perspective. But the further research will definitely be diving into the intricate details of like the different age groups and demographics.
Oh wow. Okay. That this is really interesting and I applaud you for, even researching it because I feel like the more we research like you said like of course there's always like a other side of the coin like, but we always hear about the other side of the coin when it even comes to like video games in general. So like to look at the good and how it can be more effective and like you said, right support system and things that could probably be put into place to like make it better for the person on the spectrum to like handle everything, because video games are fun. They're you learn a lot without even thinking about it. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so wow. Okay, so yeah. They were asking me, they were like, do you need a co-host or something? And I was like, I should have looked into the co-host, but I was like, when I saw what you were like, I saw researcher. I was like, oh, we could talk for it's fine. We could talk. I was like, we probably go over time, but it's okay. But yeah, like so like let's get into ritual motion. Like you said, What was the oh, so yeah, this was one of the ones as well. What was the response to the what was the response you wanted to write about autism in regards to bringing it to light on how gaming was like help, like how have you like I mean, you're here as well, so you could tell us like how would we, how should we respond to like your research and things as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So to answer the first question, Crystal, the VP of content, liked the idea and thought it would be a great fit. As you said before, the tagline of Ritual Motion is for the good of gamers. So for a company that's for the good of gamers, I think it's important that we walk the walk in providing inclusive and diverse content. So I think that was like a good thing from Crystal approving that topic. And then your other question in response to the research, this is this is the nature of research. I want more people to do research. I want research to come from the research. I want us to dive deep. I want us to ask these hard questions. I want us to try our best to come to a solution that where we could use these video games for good. And going back to like the good and bad, I think maybe I subconsciously picked the Cora shirt because it's that balance, it's the balance that we're seeking in this good and bad. And it's just a matter of finding the folks who are interested and passionate in the topic to do the research and compile their findings and have debate, have conversations. So doing stuff like this is definitely a step in the right direction and a good response.
So I mean, it's just so interesting. Like I like you kind of being here made me think about it as well, because like I'm also a community manager and I have a parent who has an autistic child and things like that, and she plays video games and stuff. So it's like it's really cool. I can go back and be like, oh girl, you need to watch this, because there's like research being done about like, to make sure that he gets to have fun, he gets to play video games, but also like the precautions and things like that in place that you might need to have. So really cool. So you did mention briefly about like the upcoming other topics that Ritual Motion is working on. So can you tell us like a little bit more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So RM Guild is featuring next week. We have, okay, so hold on, I'm really thinking here. So Sunday, we have Marshall Daly coming on, who's a graphic designer in the industry, who's going to talk to streamers about building their brand identity using a visual language. So how do I use logos? How do I use graphic design? How do I, brand my stream and my content creation? Then we have Paul Fritsch coming on Wednesday or Thursday night. I'd have to look at the schedule, but he's the one who's going to be talking about combating veteran suicide through gaming. He's doing a charity stream for Stack Up, which is an organization that is dedicated to combating veteran suicide through gaming. So he's going to be talking on his work there. And we also have the Warrior Foundation coming on, the Warrior Gamer Foundation coming on Saturday to do an event with us. And some other ones. Chris Reed is going to do one about Bitcoin and gaming.
Wow.
Yeah, so vast array of topics, like all kind of like if you want to know anything as it intersects to gaming, to RM Guild.
No, I mean, it's like even when you said the Bitcoin one, I've been seeing so many things about cryptocurrency and things, and someone asked me about it, and I was like, oh no, what an NFT is. Like, they were like, have you heard the NFT? And I'm like, I don't know, stay off Reddit. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still trying to wrap my head around how the heck to work the stock market. Like,
yeah, I'm like, this is new. I knew something older, that crashed like 20 times. I don't know how to work that one. So how do you expect me to know the newer one? But yeah, it's but like these are the topics that kind of because video gaming, I feel like we always say it's in its infancy, but it's a very broad topic, right? Because we have esports, we have streaming, we have developers, we have so many things, writing. We just have so many like categories within the category that sometimes these topics get lost within it, because we do still have to talk about mental health, we still have to talk about physical health, we have to talk about like so many things. And to have a company like Ritual Motion who's like touching like you mentioned Stack Up, which I kind of am familiar with them as well, and just like talking about veterans, like video games is a huge part of the military, and I learned that being here. So that's really cool and bold for Ritual Motion to kind of take some of those topics on. That's like, I can't even imagine, because it's what we have to deal with. I always tell people, I'm like, the gaming community is a community, which is like, when you think of community, it's like a petri dish for the world. So it's like everything that happens happens in here. So, and sometimes we don't get to talk about a lot of these things. So
Yeah, and I think that's the whole reason that Ritual Motion was birthed. Dana Paul, the CEO, like, he has kids who plays, and he saw, like, it's great to talk and play the games and do all that, but there's no channel for these, like, important discussions about mindfulness, physical health, emotional health, mental health. And it's definitely, as a startup, taking the stance on these, it's a challenge, and it's hard to find the right speakers and to put on the right shows. And we're learning as we go. It's the company motto at this point. We're learning as we go. And I was just really impressed with most recently Cam Adair's program on identifying and overcoming gaming addiction. So the really big draw in for RM Guild is that we go into networking hubs at the end, where the audience members have an opportunity to do live video, audio meet and greeting with the speaker. So Cam Adair is, I guess, in the industry, pretty high profile, does lots of talks. He did his TED Talk, so popular guy. And there are so many parents that came into that networking session who were trying to find answers to help their kids, and just the abundance of, like, love and trying to help their kids, providing a space for someone to get answers to do that, just kind of like blew my mind, and kind of really clicked on the value that we're sending out to the gaming community. So hopefully Cam and the Game Quitters will be doing more sessions on the platform, but that one was a really great start, and the parents in there were just phenomenal, trying to for their kids.
Yeah, because I understand, because like I remember when the topic first hit, like, the timeline on Twitter, and it was like gaming addiction. Everybody's like, "Oh, you guys always want to bring up something," and I'm like, no, that's a real thing. Like, I could see that. Like, I couldn't have like a like they're trying to attack us type of reaction to it, because I was just like, yeah, I kind of remember me being a kid just being like locked in my room on The Sims, and just like,
oh, yeah, The Sims like, for you.
Yeah, it was The Sims for me.
Did you make any custom content, or were you just like kind of making your own universe?
I actually know people who do custom content now, and like, it's so weird, because I'm like, I used to have your content I still have your content in my game, but it's just like, like, we don't think about like our teenage years, or like those, supervised years, because I definitely remember, even like partially in my college years, I'm like, no, I'm not coming out tonight, and just hang up.
Yeah.
I can relate. But you like, as a adult, you don't really think about it that way. You're just like, wait, kind of like, dang, I really needed to take some responsibility. And like, when I talk about it on my stream, I tell people, I'm like, it's really great to aspire to be like a streamer, but you want to be healthy. You don't want to stream 24 hours a day or 12 hours. Some people, they do these long streams and they feel like it's going to be success and all of that, especially now adding like the Twitch formula. Like I said, esports, all of that stuff. Like, esports is a really young age. It starts at a young age, like, and you're seeing like 16-year-olds become millionaires and things like that. And it's just like, how do we, combat that? Because now they're equating that to success. They're equating it to having, money and having this life. And it's a real topic, but it's also for us to take on as gamers, because we have to discuss it in like, we know it from experience type of form, like, so that's interesting. That's really cool. And I can't even imagine parents now. I have nephews and they're like addicted to their tablets and stuff. And I tell I'm talking so much, but I'm telling like my brother, I'm like, you have to take it away. Like, it's so weird for me to tell them that, because they're like, well, you're a gamer, you're always on your computer and stuff. And I'm like, okay, but you have to limit their time. Like, I'm trying to like introduce those steps to them now, because I can't imagine, especially with this whole technological, everyone has a phone by like the age of 5, or it seems like, or a tablet or something. So yeah, like, that was it. I mean, what were some of the things like the parents brought up? Can you like tell us?
Yeah. You make a really good point though. First, like, just go back there. Like, I used to see kids out at dinner with their parents, like on the tablet, on the phone, and like at a restaurant and stuff. And I'd be like, like, enjoy the moment. And because like I reflect on those times where I would like scarf down dinner in 10 minutes and like get back into my room to play World of Warcraft, and like I didn't enjoy that moment with my family, and like those moments like aren't they're never coming back. So it's like I trying to go from that angle when I talk in person. But to go back to Cam session and the networking session, a lot of the parents in there were mostly just looking for advice for their kids. Like, my kid's on here like 8 hours a day. As soon as they get out of school, like, what can I do? Like, my kid's going away to college soon. Should I send him with his computer, or should I keep it here? And really deep personal questions. And Cam was just right there to answer everything for them, because he overcame an addiction. Like he was telling on the stream about how he would like lie to his parents about having a job and like going out to work, and then come back and sneak in the window to play World of Warcraft again. Like he said it was extreme for him in overcoming that. So like getting advice from someone who lived that experience and overcame that, I think the parents just like super valued having those conversations. And it was like almost like a mini group therapy session. It was really awesome.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us overcame it like naturally, because it was like, you need more money for video games, you need a job, you know, like, like especially our generation, it was like, by the time I got to 25, it was hard out here.
Oh my gosh, you're cracking me up. That's perfect. Yeah, because like I gotta buy my own computer. I gotta buy my own peripherals.
You're dying. The parents are not giving you any more money. Like, it's like, what do I do? I need some more Sims content.
I need a job. How do I pay for my WoW subscription?
So it's like you're trying to like add in stuff, but even that, like, it's just so funny. I remember even like when I started streaming, I got like 2 jobs, and I was like, I was like, how did I do this? Because I just don't have the energy now. I'm just like, how did I do this? But yeah, I mean, doing it I just like that it's topics like those, because like I said, we could talk. I feel like we should be the ones inside the community talking about the issues, right? Like, you could say that about any other thing, about any other issues within communities, but like, I feel like even when it gets to a mainstream point, or even like when we see it hit like CNN, it's always something like really negative, and like they bring in somebody who kind of knows video games, and when they talk, they're like, yeah, I played Donkey Kong when I was 1993. And you're like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Do you even know what you're talking about? Or they're equating it to like having their child. And it's like, maybe you should talk to some adults who, are within the industry and things like that. So that's really cool to hear. I can't even imagine WoW, because I feel like WoW and Sims were like similar times.
Yeah, having that open world and being able to, like, kind of have like your own little universe going on.
Yeah, my boyfriend played WoW, so everyone was like, "Why didn't you play WoW?" Because I played like pretty much every MMOs after that, and they were like, "Why didn't you play WoW?" I was like, "I was on The Sims. Yeah, I had to overcome that." But yeah, I mean, like, so like in the future, not even in the future, how do you all choose a topic to discuss and like,
Yeah, so we sometimes have people come up to us. We have an application for hosts to come on, and we pretty much push out messaging on all the kinds of socials, like, hey, do you have a topic that you're passionate about in gaming that you want to talk about? Like, this is a brand new platform. It's not saturated like Twitch. It's not saturated like YouTube. Come talk about your passion topic, and we'll push out like social media promotion for you and help you, get an audience. And more people are hearing about it and seeing the session. So they're coming to us and being like, yeah, I want to do a session on physical health. I want to do a session on education. We have our first partner channel, which is Playverses, if you guys are familiar with them. And they're coming on and they're doing like 10 sessions this month on their own personal channel. So we're just trying to like give everybody the microphone, essentially. Is the goal. Here's the mic. If you have something to say, come on, and here it is. So my responsibility is hosting sometimes, scheduling the events. I think my mom told me she pops into all of them. She actually might be at this one right now. She popped into the gaming addiction one, and she said, I think it's even like Addiction Awareness Month. So it was like really awesome that we were able to pull that in. If that's true, I didn't fact check that before I said it.
Yeah.
But that's what she said. So like we just try our best to theme them up. We remembered that I think it's like Wellness Month or something like that. So we're trying to get a monthly event together as well for like a theme. It's just like time goes by so quickly. So it's very challenging.
It does. I was like, it's August? What?
Yeah. It's like we want to
over in 4 months. Like, what?
Yeah. Bye, summer. But yeah, just pretty much lots of people coming to us because we're giving the open mic call pretty much.
Yeah. And so can you tell us how people could find it?
Yeah, so ritualmotion.com, and there's a button at the very top for RM Guild. You can click on that and you can see all of our upcoming sessions. One of the benefits is that after the session ends, they're all on demand, kind of like a Twitch stream. But the networking sessions aren't available. So I guess like the networking sessions are kind of off the record a little bit. But you'd have to create a Ritual Motion account to view the content, just like an email and password, just so we can like hold people accountable if they do anything bad, say anything mean. We do have like rules and regulations, keep it PG-13, that sort of thing. But there's a plethora of content to scroll through and check out from on demand since May is when we launched. But yeah, so ritualmotion.com.
That's really awesome. So now I'm gonna kind of segue because I know you've been a part of collegiate esports programs and of course esports college career, but yada yada yada. But what is some advice, especially for college students, that you would give as far as kind of like similar to like what Ritual Motion stands for, like gaming and gaming smart and healthier and things like that? What are some tips that you would give to like a college student or kids going to college?
Yeah. So for finding a program or just generally like gaming and having good habits?
Both.
Okay. So for finding a program and finding a school that has a program, ask questions, be like, hey, do you have an esports program? Do you have a gaming program? If not, and that's something you're interested in, maybe move on to the next school. Vet the program. Ask them if is it funded? Do you have like staff available? Do you have coaches? Like how seriously are you taking this? And depending on what you're interested in, some schools are more casual, some schools are more competitive. So you kind of have to do a little bit of that research on your own and figure that out. I did work with a startup called Looking for Group, and it's lfgroup.gg. It's a database for finding collegiate esports programs. I think we put up about 200 colleges and universities, but within the time that I was there, I'm not sure if it's been updated recently, but there's a good place to start. And then on healthy habits and stuff, I would definitely recommend screen breaks. There's definitely times where like I get super fatigued sitting in front of the computer screen for a while, and we'll just like go for a walk around the block. And I'll just take screen-free walks once a day. It's like 10 minutes of my time. And I challenge myself because sometimes I really don't feel like doing it. I don't want to go outside and see the world right now. I don't want to see other people. It's scary, you know. But I go out, I challenge myself. I'm like, Monica, it's only 10 minutes. Just go around the block. You need to get away from the screens. You have to and especially now that we've been spending so much time in isolation and inside, we're glued to our smartphones, glued to the computers. Cause it's, for me, I'm generating all my income from the internet. So it's like, I have to be here on the screen, but challenging yourself to take those walks, those breaks. I wrote an article about 7 exercises that you can do while you wait for your cue to pop. So for me, that's like League of Legends space. So sometimes if I'm queuing up as mid and it's like 10 minutes, do some squats, do some tricep dips, do something.
You're healthy.
I try. I went through a weight loss transformation of I used to be 220 pounds. I got down to about 150.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's an amazing. Wow. And that's just for like health reasons. Like that's like even now when I move, I became more like I haven't been moving as much because I'm like on my own, but I try. So that's really goals for real.
Yeah.
Well, but they're ring fit now though.
Oh, really? How do you like that?
It's intense. Like I lasted 10 minutes the first time and maybe 5 the next. but they have different modes that you could put it down. But it's been getting better, and I'm doing yoga with friends through Discord now, and I
That's
start
so awesome.
tomorrow.
Good luck. Yoga is actually pretty challenging. It is pretty
Yeah,
challenging.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it because I told them,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not flexible.
You'll become flexible after doing
Yeah,
yoga.
but yeah, you kind of have to challenge yourself, like get some vitamin D, because we're just inside so much now. It seems, even though it's kind of like opening up. I don't know for how long, but yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just I'm in Philadelphia. They just brought back
New York.
mandates and stuff. Oh, we're so
Yep.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're changing things up here. They're closing things down again.
Yeah. I you did mention your writing, so I'm glad you mentioned it because I'm just gonna start. So, like, how did you start writing articles, and like, what have you written lately? No, I'm not gonna bombard you with questions, but yeah, how did you even start and get into esports writing? Is it esports or gaming writing?
A little bit of both. That's why I use both, like esports and
Yeah.
gaming, because like they're cousins. They're related, but they're not the same. You know,
Yeah.
esports is like the competitive version of gaming. So I'm definitely more, my interest lies more on the gaming side than esports. I'm not like a super competitive person by nature, so I definitely respect what esports does and the competition there, but I'm more focused on like the games, the gaming community, and what they provide to people.
Yeah.
But the writing started when I kind of made the realization working for the university at first. I was like, there's a lot of value in this. Like, I got pulled into conversations at 22, 23 years old to talk about developing gaming curriculum at a school. And I'm like, there's a lot of value in this. Let me think about this. So I sat down and I just started writing about like my thoughts and opinions on esports and education and what that would look like. And I was like, there's a lot of potential here. There's a lot going on here. So I was like, I'm just going to keep writing more stuff. And it just kept on going. Let me pull up my author page. I can give you like topics. Because like I write it and then I forget that it happened.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, it's so even, I feel like we're similar in this aspects that even doing this show and hearing different perspectives, because we've had people from schools come in and they're like, yeah, we have like a whole, space for them. And they're like, yeah, it's state of the art. I'm like, where was this when I was at school?
Seriously. And that's what motivates me to write.
Yeah.
Honestly, you just hit on that, Alley Cat. Like, this didn't exist when I was a kid and I wish it did. So I'm gonna do the thing.
I'm like, oh, maybe I do need to birth soon or something. It's just like, I was like, where is this? It's like, we had somebody and they're like, yeah, they have an internship at Riot Games. I'm like, what? Like, where is that? You know what I mean? Like, even when I got into the gaming industry, which was like roughly like 6 or 5 years ago, I don't remember. It was like to even network within it. It was almost not difficult. It was cool because it would just be to talk to people, but that would be it. It wasn't like there was like a set standard or anything. So it's interesting to see like, colleges, and then it's kind of like molding into something. But I like that because it makes space for inclusivity and bringing in the right, minds. And it's not just men, it's women, it's, people of color, it's everybody just coming together. And like we're seeing, I mean, even with like the headlines, as negative as they are, that's been hitting lately, it's like we have to kind of see that change happen, right? Like how else are we gonna have it? Because a lot of these companies, they do need those changes. So and it's also thanks to writers. That's what I was gonna segue to, because it's like writers like you that bring up points of like, okay, this is how you do it, and they're usually the ones to start like the investigations and to look into things. I remember when they did the one on Riot Games, even though I just mentioned it, it was an article and everybody was like, what, this is happening and so, and it's like, this is how we kind of have to shape it out. So it's very cool. Okay, tell me what you've been working on. I know you have the page up.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. So, okay. One of them I did. Okay, so there was a podcast by James O'Hagan. He does the Academy of Esports podcast, and he brought on someone from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, who is making a history course about Red Dead Redemption.
What?
Yeah. So teaching about that era of America through like the lens of Red Dead, and it was really fascinating. So I wrote a little bit about that.
I can see that now that you say it out loud. I can see it because they
Yeah.
were like even the second one. You noticed they were started as a gang and like how it. Oh wow, the deception though.
Yeah, and he said like there's a lot of stuff that's like not at all accurate, but like
Oh
kind of,
wow.
like using it to help
With the story, yeah.
and the message. But also one I was really interested in was like I see like Red Bull, Coca-Cola, all these unhealthy sponsors in the esports world, like on the jerseys and stuff. And I was like, where's like the healthy food and beverage sponsors? I know that's like I feel like a lame like gym teacher saying that, like, but
Like where are the carrots?
yeah.
But true. I mean, I'm caffeine sensitive, so I've been asking that for the last like a couple of 10 years.
We'll find a solution.
Yeah. It started with Mountain Dew and now it's like G Fuel and Gamer Advantage and all this stuff. And I'm like, I can't have any of this like at all. Someone once came into my stream and was like, yeah, are you drinking G Fuel? And I was like, what? No, I'm not.
You know, it might be good for you. Aminos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like
I've heard of that. I'm not sure though.
I don't really know the science behind them, but there's no caffeine in some of them.
I've been seeing more come up that say
Yeah.
no caffeine. So yeah, I'm actually very excited about that because I think like having so much caffeine, especially when we were so young, when I used to be so young. I speak like I'm 40. I'm only like 31, but
You're not old.
We're old in games.
Old in games, yeah, that's the asterisk. Like the fact that you and I can recall floppy disks in like just a 30-year time period is bonkers to me. And now we're like touchscreen nation. Like it's crazy.
I'm like, I'm gonna be telling my kid, and that was the end of the game. I died, and that was it. There was no. Like that's gonna be me. Like Simba was done with, and it was just over. But that's, yeah, like that's a good question. Where were the healthy stuff? You haven't found it.
No, so the article was titled "Wanted: Healthy Food and Beverage Sponsors." There's a few groups out there doing some things. I spoke with. Oh my goodness, hold on, I'm blanking on the name.
I saw one with Nate. So I recently saw Nature's Bounty because one of my friends is sponsored with them.
Oh,
and they actually have a gamer. I want to say it's vitamins, but I'm not sure. I don't want to misspeak, but they do have like a gamer kind of line coming out. So I was like, as long as it doesn't have caffeine, please. Like,
crossed.
Yeah, because anytime you hear like food or beverage at this point, it's like it's laced with some type of caffeine, and I'm like, they want us to eat caffeine.
Yeah. Caffeine's super addictive. I started drinking coffee when I was like a junior, senior in high school, and I never stopped. I love it. I love coffee. Man.
It was Pepsi for me. I would have knocked a Pepsi, you know. I know it's against the tile, but it's okay. That's very interesting. I wonder why. I don't even know. Like, I do see restaurants coming in a bit more because, like, in gaming, you know, like, especially esports, I think we see like Chipotle, we see Subway, a couple of different. But Subway's bread isn't even bread.
It's not?
There was like an article saying it wasn't bread. It's like loaded with so much sugar that they can't classify it as bread.
Good to know. Never I did not know that.
Yeah, there's like a whole article about it, but yeah, it's just I mean, maybe the restaurants kind of like, because I think some of them have like healthy alternatives, but yeah.
Yeah, I just pulled it up. It's called Fit Fresh. So the collegiate sports team at Ohio Northern University, Troy Chafari is the head coach there. He got a partnership with Fit Fresh, which is like a meal prep company, kind of sort of thing, like healthy like meals. So their team is like on a meal plan of sorts, I believe, something along those lines, with Fit Fresh. So there's someone doing right.
Have you done a meal plan before? Because I've never done like I've done like my own, like, you know, dividing it up by myself, but I've never done like I think it was like HelloFresh or like anything like that. So I don't know. Are they good? Have you done one? No,
I've never done one. No, my neighbors sometimes I see like the HelloFresh boxes out, and I always want to be like, "How is that? Like you're ordering it, so it must be good."
Right. I think at one point meal preps are coming in a little bit more, but I haven't seen them lately. Like, where are you? Interesting. Oh wow. But yeah, like I don't know. That's really cool. Very interesting. What else? One more, please.
Um, Also, article. Oh,
Yeah.
let's see.
How long is that page you're looking at? That's what I
Pretty
want.
long. I've written a lot, but I haven't written much since like 2 months ago, since I've taken over the RM Guild stuff. That's kind of been my
Yeah.
number one focus. Hopefully I'll get back
Yeah.
to writing content once like the machine gets up and running. We're sputtering to life. But the most recent one I wrote was about avoiding game over by scoring healthier takeout. So how to strategically buy or purchase, like, in an age of DoorDash and Grubhub and all that
Oh.
stuff. Like, how can you modify your order to make it healthier?
I need to read that one. I just want to.
Well,
It's just so easy to order out, and it's just
is,
so good because you
it is
see
so
like the pictures, and you're like, oh yeah, I would like that.
Yep,
So
yep.
good.
I talk a little bit about portion size, getting baked foods.
Yeah.
I am on my weight loss journey. One of the things I talk about a lot. I was traveling as an admission counselor, so like event to event. Like, I was on the road. I was a road jockey for a few months, and that's of course when I decided to try and lose weight. I was like, okay, this is a great time. So it was a big challenge. Like,
Yeah,
you just
I bet.
one of the things I learned is that if you just order the entree at like a fast food restaurant and hold the soda and hold the fries, like, that's like the best decision you could
Yeah.
make. You have to order fast food, because like I was getting home from events at like 10 or 11 at night, and it's like fast food's my only option. And I know a lot of
Yeah.
people live that lifestyle, so it's like, how can I make this healthier, even though it's
Yeah.
not?
So in I think 2019, I had to like make the choice of like getting a personal trainer and going to the gym and stuff like that before like COVID, because I was ordering out so much. Like, it was so bad. Like, I couldn't believe, like, I remember looking at my deposit for that year, and I spent so much money just ordering from like Uber Eats and things like that. So and there are healthy choices on there, like you said. So very interesting.
But when you see
Wow,
the picture of the burger and fries, you're like, I want
it's so
that.
good. You're like, I want that giant soda. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
I only drink like either like dark soda or water, and that's like horrible. Like, it's like
That's what I wrote about in the article. There's a subreddit called Hydro Homies, where they just pretty much try to get everybody to drink water, and they just make memes out of it. And it's just like, drinking water is great, and it's really funny. And I alluded to that in my article. So like, they just make the act of drinking water fun in some way. So if you need to drink more water, Hydro
Yeah.
Homies got you.
Yeah, I feel like we have to like step out of our comfort zone, right? Like, when we get really comfortable, it's like we really lose it. It's like in gaming and eating and gaming. Like, you just, if you don't have to think about it, but sometimes we have to like go that convenience for our health. So it's really cool. And so, any tips for writers? Because like you started like you said, you've done a lot of articles and things like that. What are some nowadays tips that you would throw out there?
Just put your content out there. You never know who's going to read it. You never know who's going to see it. For me, like, I get awkward and scared sometimes. Like, put it out there. Like, these are thoughts and opinions. Like, this is a lot of stuff I'm putting out, and it can be challenging to like overcome that anxiety and just put it out there anyways. But odds are, if you're thinking about saying something, what you have to say is of value and needs to be heard. So just write that up, post it on your socials, post it on a blog, get it out there, send it to your friends. Your family will be your biggest supporters. Like I said, my mom comes to like everything that I do online now, which is great. So it's just like, people out there want to support you and want to read what you think. So put it out there, and someone somewhere will like it and be like, hey, I have an opportunity for you.
Yeah, it's really cool. And great job with Ritual Motions. I wish you all the best with everything over there. I'm definitely going to check it out because I want to look up some of the stuff. I'm always into researching like topics and things. And I feel like every day we're getting introduced, not even introduced, but it's being more visible, certain topics that need to come up in gaming. So that's really cool. And I'll definitely be thinking of you at yoga tomorrow. And I'm like, yes, I'm getting healthy again.
Yes, do yoga. It's so good for you. I'm trying to do more of it, but it's scary because it's hard.
Yeah. So before we leave, tell us what have you been playing lately? Like,
So I'll be completely honest. Now that I work
mm-hmm.
in gaming and esports,
Mm-hmm.
I spend so much time in front of the screen. Like the last thing I want to do after work is like sit down in front of the screen and play games. But I'm a total filthy casual in League of Legends. I'll play an ARAM here or there. And I donated my Oculus headset to the college I'm working for. But when I used to play, I was a Beat Saber like fan.
Oh,
Like
I want to try it so bad, but I have vertigo.
oh no.
So I think I'm gonna topple over. But I thought about it and I was like, I think I want to buy an Oculus, but I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking on it because there's like anime themes and stuff like that are in there that I want to play, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm jealous.
Try it. You see what happens. But it's a really good time. And Beat Saber was what I got the Oculus Rift as like a reward for myself for losing weight. So that was another thing is like tried not to reward myself with food and rewarded myself with something else instead. And started with that VR and I would get sweaty. I would get real sweaty in my living room. I'd be like, I actually need a break. So I think there's a lot of potential with VR as the I guess the technology improves to really bring in some active opportunities like your Ring Fit that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Did I say it right?
Yeah, I think it is. It's Switch Ring Fit. Yeah, it's Nintendo Ring Fit. Or it's something Ring Fit. But it's, yeah. I mean, I didn't expect it to be so hard, but because when I saw the circular thing, I'm like, what is this? Like a muscle band? And it actually is. They were like, pull it apart. And I'm like, I'm weak.
Oh my God.
So it's very interesting. And then the other, so you put one of the controllers on the ring and then one on your leg. So it actually is really cool. It picks up a lot. It picks up a lot more than I thought it would. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I want to look into this. This seems interesting. I knew it existed, but I haven't like looked at how it worked.
Yeah, I was like, I just pulled the plug last month, I think, or was it this month? I think it was this month. And I was like, let me just get it because I have a gym downstairs and sometimes I don't even make it down the stairs. So it's really cool. And okay, so we're going to end out with like you telling everybody where to find you, where to go, all that good stuff. And then you could say anything you want after that or during that. And that will be that. But thank you so much for coming on the stream. I'm so excited. So yeah, tell everyone where they can find you.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll do. So I did drop in the Twitch chat under Dr. Oz is my username, the Ritual Motion Guild sessions if you want to find those. Yes. I'm also on LinkedIn, Monica Miller, and I'm pretty like low-key not on socials, but I do paint a little, and I put those up on Instagram at Monporium. So
wait, are those your paintings behind you?
Yeah, they're all my work in progress. So like I live in a really tiny apartment, so I do everything in this space right here. So like when I'm done working, I just turn around and go to my paint station. It's great. But yeah, those are my works in progress. I got a lot coming.
Wow. I just bought some smaller canvases because I was like, I don't know. I'm getting into hobbies. Like I was trying to show you earlier, I'm learning how to do my own nails. That's why I only have 3 done. But I'm learning, and I perfected my cuticle and shaping and stuff. So yeah. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Well done. That's a hard craft.
Yeah. But so just Twitter, that's it. And then you said Ritual Motion. I think Bayou has all this stuff as well. So yeah, you guys go check it out. And when do you know when is the next stream? Is it stream? Do you say stream? Sessions. There you go.
Session would probably be the best one. We have the one coming on at Sunday at 5 Eastern. That's the branding your or finding your visual language for your brand.
I might need to check in on that.
Feel free to drop in. It's free.
Yes, definitely. We'll be checking it out. And I hope I can have you again. And we could discuss some more topics. This is really fun. Like I see we made it through the hour like so seamlessly.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's been in an hour so far. That was great. Thank you so much for hosting.
I told you, I saw like what, like they sent me like the the doc, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I was like, I feel like I could talk to this person for an hour. I could just tell, but that's really cool. And thank you so much for your work and research as well. Is there a way people could find the research? That's what I meant to ask as well.
Oh yeah, I can link my author page as well in the Twitch chat.
Okay. Yes. So yeah. So thank you again for joining us this week. Thank you again to Monica for joining us on the Hive. We want to thank our partners, ESTV, NFL Alumni, and Corsair and GameHers. GameHers is actually putting together their award show. So that's really cool. Without their support, we would not be able to bring you our weekly show. We also want to thank our producer, Nick, who was really awesome, and our moderators, Catherine and Bayou. We will see you next week, where we will be playing games. Oh, yay. I don't know what games we're going to be playing, but we're going to be playing games. But that's it for today, and I'll see you next week, same time. Bye. Thank you again, Monica.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much for having me.